My friends already remarked, hey, we never see you wear a jacket when you speak, you know. You see, for an American, Singapore is very hot. But you know I'm standing below two giant aircon vents. Yaron said, inequality does not prevent poor people from rising up. Inequality does not cause economic problems. I agree with Yaron to a certain extent, but arguably to a greater extent, I would like to disagree, particularly in the context of Singapore, because what we don't need are policies that cause or perpetuate increasing inequality. 一人之下，万人之上，这是不对的，人人平等。If any one of you can help to translate this into English for my friends who don't understand the Chinese, a quick translation, you get to receive a prize. Anyone would like to do a quick translation of what I just said? Raise your hand. Nobody. You see, the problem here around Singapore is we have become so unequal a society that most Singaporeans don't even dare to raise their hand to speak up. So, let me talk about some of the, since nobody wants prize, I put aside first, right? You are the organizer, right, Henry? Yeah. So, you think you can translate what I just said? 2 lines, anyone?
One person is above and the rest of everybody is below him. So it's like very unequal. Right? We want everyone to be equal in economics.
Right. Thank you. I need to give you my book that day, so this one you can hear. You know, Yaron just published a book in Chinese in China 2 weeks ago. 平等不公平 Equal is unfair. This is the epitome of inequality. Who else can get a book published in China who is American Israeli, who is arguably one of the great champions of the capitalist system? Nobody. This is an indicator of inequality. I give this back to you. I borrowed this. I'm going to talk about some of the policies in Singapore that arguably cause or perpetuate increasing inequality. See, to the ladies here, when you give birth to a child, what happens? You get child bonus, child development account, etc., etc. But do you know the largest amount of procreation benefits given in Singapore is not these items which every mother and every child gets. The biggest item is what we call procreation tax benefits. What is that? If you are a high income mother, you can get tax credit or rebate up to $80,000 a year. If you are low income or no income mother, what procreation tax benefits do you get? Zero. Right? This, in my view, is why our total fertility rate at 1.1 around there is the second lowest in the world. Because, as far as I know from my research, no developed country in the world discriminates mothers and children on the basis of the income of the mother to give. In fact, the last time I checked, the procreation benefits is something like, I don't know, $2 billion or something. Right? So in Singapore, we arguably have policies that the moment you're born, there's already inequality. Child development account. This is called the matching account. The parents give $1 to this account, they match with $1. Now, a few months ago, for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, the statistics came out on the child development account. So many parents don't make full use of the child development account. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? I give $1, I get $1. Why so many parents don't make use of it? Well, sometimes the surveys in Singapore are a bit strange or rather incomplete. You know, like Henry tells us, incomplete statistics. He says we are in the bottom decile for inequality in the world. It's like the mainstream media, they tell you half the story only. Okay, the real, I'm not making fun of you, Henry, but the big story is we are ranked 147 in the inequality index. For a country that is ranked in the top 5 as the richest country in the world on a per capita basis, isn't it a shame to be ranked 147 for inequality? Thank you, Henry, for leaving that out so that I can tell the audience. Child development account. Why would parents not give $1 to get $1? Like all surveys in Singapore, they leave you hanging in the air, you know. They never ask the crucial question, why? Well, I can speculate or I can guess. The reason to me is quite obvious. They are so poor trying to make ends meet every day, they don't have that few dollars to put into the child development account. If you can't feed your baby a meal, what's the point of putting $1 to get $1 that you can use for the child's education in the future? So, this is only the beginning. You just born, you're unequal. As you go, you're already unequal. Then as you move on in life, look at our education system. But let me give you context. I once volunteered to teach some 2-day program. I cannot mention the school because I mentioned the school name and then the school will knock my head. But there are schools in Singapore where all the children who are not so bright like me, they all send the children there, You know which school I'm talking about, right? Start with the N one, okay? Yeah. No, I said, I'm not very bright. He said, Hian, cannot be, you're not very bright, right? My O-levels, 5 O-levels, I think I together like 17 or 19 points. I think if today like that, I cannot go to whatever, right? My A-levels, I took 4 A-level subjects, failed 2, then passed 2, and the grade is B and E. And now you know why I'm silly enough to do what I do in the last 20 years now, which is writing and talking and protesting about inequality. Because I think it makes my pocket very unequal. Okay, back to the story again. Child account, progression tax benefits. If we have an education system where, in my time it was even worse. In my time at primary 3, they test you and they stream you, Right? In my time, the joke was, oh, you EM3, You know what's EM3? EM3 means all the not so bright students who are tested at primary 3, they all end up in this place called don't say the name, but the initial of this educational institution was affectionately known as ISTN. Because when you go there, ISTN. Right? Even today, in the education system, of course, they've done away a lot of all this, but you still have similar problems. Because in my humble view, when you have an education system that would clever people together, stupid people together, and then you segregate children like this, what you end up is, if you have read the book Wisdom of Crowds, you will, that book says, if you put all the clever people together, then they do very stupid things. That's why another next talk maybe we can talk about that. Okay? So an education system that does that, in my view, perpetuates inequality. You know, I've written so many letters to the newspaper about inequality in the school system. Let me just cite one funny one for you. School has some overseas trip, you know, and so the students are encouraged to go. So the school sends out a circular. This is what you are required to do if you go on this trip. Must bring mobile phone, among other things. Now this is not today. Today every child, I understand, has a mobile phone. But this is like in the 20, 30 years ago. Right? At that time, only rich people can afford to give a mobile phone to the child. You know, my first mobile phone, can you pass me the water bottle? My first mobile phone, the size is like this, you know, right? It cost $6,000. Right? So, when you have an education system where, in my, I don't know what words to use, but if the schools in setting up a circular like this, right, does not understand that there are poor people in the school. And so what happens is, my volunteers and I have been doing financial counseling. Financial counseling means if you are dead, broke, cash strapped, then you come to us. Okay? You'll be surprised what policies like this in the education system can cause to lower income families. Children don't take part in activities because they are ashamed, because they are different. Let's move on. Then you come to your university and your polytechnic. Do you know that practically every student in the tertiary education at universities in Singapore today, almost all of them graduate invariably with a tuition loan equal to the tuition fee for the 3 or 4 years. And why? Of course, not enough money is spent to enable Singaporean students in the universities to be able to afford the tuition and not have to borrow, right? But it's a very good system in the sense because you borrow money, you only need to pay 6 months after you graduate, and you can pay as little as $100, but you must pay all in 10 years. But here's what I think issue with in terms of education policy and inequality. 5 minutes. Okay. We estimate that the amount of spending per year on foreign students' tuition grant, foreign students' scholarships, in other words, all the money that's been spent for foreign students is about maybe 300 million a year. Now, of course, our electoral ranking in the world is 173. So when I say I think it's 300 million, it's because nobody asked in Parliament, so we don't know now. Okay? Imagine if this 300 odd million is used for Singaporean students, would it not help to reduce the inequality that we have today? Of course, it's arguable, it's subjective. You know, the question I've always asked, I must have written this at least a dozen times or more. What percentage of the total enrollment in the public university are non-Singaporeans? I've never had an answer, but I have estimated it's about 34%. Can you find any country in the world where the public university has, if I'm right in my estimate, 34% are non-Singaporeans. So all this money that could have gone to Singaporeans to reduce inequality. Maybe you only have 3 minutes. So I have a big inequality problem in my head now. In 3 minutes, which inequality should I talk about? So, come to work now. We've gone through all these stages. How come in the last labour market report, the unemployment rate of Singaporeans went up, but the unemployment rate of foreigners and permanent residents remained the same? Actually, this was not how it was written in the media. What the media said was, the unemployment rate of Singaporeans has gone up, but the unemployment rate of residents, which includes permanent residents, has not gone up, and the overall unemployment rate, which includes foreigners, has not gone up. But the simple interpretation is the unemployment rate of Singaporeans has gone up, and the unemployment rate of PRs and foreigners has not gone up. Isn't this an issue of inequality? For my friends who are looking for jobs, they tell me, our job system is so unequal. If the employer employs a foreigner, he doesn't have to contribute to CPF. So he saves up to 70% on the salary. So why would he employ me when I'm Singaporean? Isn't this a policy that perpetuates inequality? If I employ a Singaporean male like me, of course not at my age, younger one like him, 40 days of national service liability up to every year. If he employs a foreigner male, 0. So why should the employer employ a Singaporean? Isn't this a policy that perpetuates inequality? I employ a Singaporean lady, she gets pregnant. Oh my God. Time's up, 1 minute, okay? 4 months maternity leave. If I employ a foreigner on a work permit, the conditions of the work permit says she cannot get pregnant, she'll be deported if she gets pregnant. That's why every 6 months they have to go for a pregnancy test. It's such policies that perpetuate inequality. Because whilst I agree with Yaron that fundamentally, conceptually, yes, inequality by itself does not cause economic problems. It does not cause poor people not to be able to rise up in society. But that's where context matters. In the Singapore context, we have so many policies which in the 15 minutes that has been given to me, I've only been able to tell you a very small proportion.